was the first and only novel by this Bronte sister. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and in this installment of Mojo Notes, we'll be exploring 10 things you should know about Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights.
Let me in.
Number 10. About the author. Born in 1818 in Thornton, England, Emily Bronte was one of 6 children, which included sister and fellow novelist Charlotte Bronte. Following their mother's death, Emily was mostly homeschooled and found the inspiration to write through reading. Soon, she and Charlotte began publishing poems under pen names. The shy and withdrawn Bronte's only novel was Wuthering Heights, as she died from illness shortly thereafter. Number 9. Influences and Inspirations. Wuthering Heights was published in 1847 under the pen name Ellis Bell. The novel's uncensored descriptions of its characters' strong feelings and conflicts, and what was perceived as a lack of morality, shocked many who followed the Victorian social code.
I simply cannot understand how your brother can allow that beast of a gypsy to have the run of the house.
Don't talk about him.
Kathy, how can you, a gentlewoman, tolerate him under your roof? Roadside beggar giving himself airs of equality. How can you?
Despite its dark Gothic tone, the novel also possesses moments of light and hope, with a writing style that's almost poetic in nature.
I traveled here simply to have one glimpse of your face. I've fought through a bitter life since I last heard your voice. And you must forgive my silence, for I struggled only for you.
Number 8. Settings and Era. Wuthering Heights is set during the mid-18th to early 19th century in the Yorkshire moors in northern England.
What are you thinking about?
I was thinking about the sea.
This dark and dreary farmhouse is home to Mr. Heathcliff and serves as a contrast to the peaceful and welcoming Thrushcross Grange that's rented by Mr. Lockwood.
Are you Mr. Heathcliff?
Yes.
Well, I'm Mr. Lockwood, your new tenant at the Grange.
It's between these two locations that most of the novel's actions take place.
Kathy! Come in!
Number 7. Plot. It's housekeeper Nellie Dean who recounts the story of Wuthering Heights to the curious Mr. Lockwood.
It was Kathy,
Who is Kathy?
a girl who died.
The tale revolves around Heathcliff's love for Catherine, who's the daughter of the man who adopted him, Mr. Earnshaw.
He's a dull-looking individual.
Aye, and with reason. I found him starving in the streets of Liverpool, kicked and bruised and almost dead.
Unfortunately, they're kept apart by their different social statuses and end up marrying other people. This causes Heathcliff to seek revenge on those who've hurt him, but the journey eventually ends in his death. Number 6. Heathcliff.
Do not leave me in this dark alone, for I cannot find you. I cannot live without my life. I cannot die without my soul.
Taken in by Mr. Earnshaw after being orphaned, Heathcliff quickly falls in love with Catherine. However, his lack of social status causes her to marry another.
A cold wind went across my heart just then. A feeling of doom. You touched me and it was gone.
And though he makes the effort to change, Heathcliff and Catherine don't end up together.
You may smile at him without fear of offending me, because it's my wife who smiles. My wife who loves me.
Yes.
His subsequent anger, quest for vengeance, and heartache eventually kill him. Number 5. Catherine Earnshaw. Catherine Earnshaw is torn between her love for the poor and rough Heathcliff and the desire for a better life with a more educated man, Edgar Linton.
Why do you love him?
Because he's handsome and pleasant to be with.
Well, that's not enough.
Because he'll be rich someday. And I'll be the finest lady in the county.
Oh,
As a result of her transformation from a rebellious young girl into a woman interested more in status, she chooses Edgar over Heathcliff.
No one will ever kiss me again but you. No one. I'll be your wife.
This decision is what brings the story together and drives a devastated Heathcliff to marry Isabella.
You won't be lonely anymore.
It's only while approaching her deathbed that Catherine briefly reconciles with him.
I'm yours, Heathcliff. I've never been anyone else's.
She doesn't know what she's saying.
Number 4. Other characters.
Get out. It's too early in the morning to look on the devil.
Hindley is Catherine's older brother, and his jealousy over her father and sister's affections for Heathcliff makes him angry and full of hate.
I'll have my gold and I'll have your blood, and hell can have your soul!
The well-mannered and educated Edgar Linton is the man who becomes Catherine's husband. He loves her so much that he lets Catherine do almost whatever she pleases.
It was just a young girl's fancy, but one must be careful not to inflame it with too much opposition.
This leads to an unloving and unhappy marriage between Heathcliff and Edgar's spoiled sister Isabella, who doesn't realize how badly she's being treated for some time.
Let your heart look at me just once.
Number 3. Values and themes. One of the first themes we come across in Wuthering Heights is how society and class affect people's relationships.
It would degrade me to marry Heathcliff now. So you'll never know how I love him.
Without a surname or a real home, Heathcliff is looked down upon. As such, Catherine aspires to marry the well-mannered Edgar, who lives in the more refined Thrushcross Grange.
Try to be glad without being absurd in front of the whole household. Heathcliff is a runaway servant.
Thus, part of Heathcliff's struggle is to feel accepted, but as the novel unfolds, it's evident its main themes are the effects of revenge, love, and betrayal in our lives. Number 2. Modern popularity. Though it was deemed controversial and earned mixed reviews upon initial publication, this did little to harm the reputation of Bronte's first and sole novel later on. Thanks to its power, originality, and stark but memorable descriptions of strong feelings, cruelty, and hatred, it's now considered one of English literature's best. Number 1. Adaptations. The novel's popularity and haunting beauty have inspired many adaptations, ranging from operas and graphic novels to a role-playing game. Authors as diverse as Albert Camus and Stephenie Meyer have also referenced it. When it comes to screen adaptations, many have focused on Heathcliff and Catherine's story and omitted those of their children. This includes the Oscar-nominated 1939 version with Laurence Olivier and the 1970 movie with Timothy Dalton. On the other hand, both generations were seen in Peter Kominsky's 1992 film with Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche.
Now, my bonny lad, you're mine. Let's see if one tree won't grow as crooked as another with the same wind to twist it.
Do you agree with our list? What are your favorite pieces of Wuthering Heights trivia? Be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com for more informative top 10s published every day.
Goodbye, Heathcliff. Goodbye, my wild, sweet cat.